to our target of our minimum, which is really exciting.
Stop. We are not live. We are
Sorry.
not live. I was just
live.
counting. Huh?
You're
okay. Okay, now you're
live.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are live. All right. Sweet. Yeah. Little update from us, Baron Hasselhoff's. Things are happening very quickly, which is very exciting. We're almost a week in, and we're just over $100,000 pledged so far. So thank you to those amazing pledges who have jumped on board. We know there's a lot of you out there who showed a lot of interest pre-campaign, who haven't quite pushed the button on getting your pledge in. Would absolutely encourage you guys to please get that in as early as possible. It really creates a lot of momentum for us in the project as well, and just obviously really makes our hearts grow even bigger for this project. You know, the sooner you get your money in. If there's any reason why you haven't, please flick us a message. There's multiple channels you can do that through our email. You can send us a message on Instagram or Facebook, or if you're a local, drop into the shop. We'll buy you a cup of coffee. We can sit down and have a chat as to if there's anything that you're not quite clear about with our campaign or some of the information that we've put out. And if anyone is obviously watching this as well, please pop your questions through, and we can answer those as we go. So last Sunday, we kicked off the campaign. So last Sunday afternoon, we were in the atrium. So the atrium is the space between Blair Street and Allen Street, Wellington. And so that's where our new premises will back into. And it was super exciting to be in that space, just to kind of feel the vibe of that space. It was really beautiful. Lots of natural light and plants, and we had our little presentation there to some lots of friends and family, and lots of great supporters, and it was super exciting to be able to push play, go live, and share our dream with everybody. And that was really lovely, and lovely to connect with some people, and and get the pledges rolling in. So that was really fantastic to have that opportunity to meet and see people. And so, I mean, what are we raising money for? Like, why are we doing this? It's a really good question. That's a really good question. We need to scale. We have never taken on any outside investment for the business, so we've got to the stage that we are right now with zero outside investment. It's the reality of business is that to grow, to scale, you need investment. You need other people's money. It's impossible to do it without. And so the reason that we're asking for investment is so we can scale our manufacturing, so we can buy more equipment, we can get higher production equipment, bigger space, which will enable us to produce more product. We're able to scale, so through those channels of increased production and product, then we're able to offer our product to more wholesalers. So our main target is New Worlds through New Zealand, so premium New Worlds. We've got a target of getting 40 of those by the end of next year, and so that's really one of the main focuses for the driver of the scale is through that channel, through the wholesale channel, which is really exciting. And of course, that will also feed into increased sales through our e-commerce. And so the way that we're going to engage that channel through e-commerce is that we've taken on Mana PR, which is a Wellington-based company. And they're going to handle all of our Google Meta ads. And so they're really going to be able to supercharge our presence in that space. We feel like there's a lot of opportunities still in that e-commerce space, especially around gifting, which we find our products are perfectly suited for. I mean, they're perfectly suited for eating yourself, but they're also perfectly suited to sending people that you love. There's all sorts of occasions to be able to do that, which is really fantastic. And then, of course, we're able to, by moving into the Wellington city, so at present, if you're not sure about where we are, we're actually in Berhampore, which is a beautiful little suburb, and we've been here for 10 years. So 2016, we moved to Berhampore from sunny Golden Bay. Do miss the sunshine and the long walks on the beaches. But we felt ready to give the business a real opportunity. We thought we would move to Wellington City. It's the craft food capital of New Zealand. It's where a lot of amazing craft food businesses have been born out of. Garage Project, Fix and Fog. I mean, that's a very long list of alumni that have launched out of Wellington, and no small part because of the community of supportive customers that are in Wellington. They support craft food, and we've really benefited from that. And so being in Berhampore, we've been able to sort of really embed ourselves in the community of Berhampore Nights. I'm not sure if you've caught on that or not. And it's been really beautiful, it's really beautiful to start here and to get that local support. But to grow, we need to move. We need to move to a bigger location. We need more people. We need more people walking past our beautiful offering. So that's why we've chosen this really amazing premises. Blair Street used to be the Red Square nightclub. So it's been a nightclub for 25 years. So it's been a discotheque party for that long, and we're going to turn it into a mouth party. So what we're going to build is we're going to build a beautiful emporium to house Baron Hasselhoff's, so a flagship emporium. So it'll house all the manufacturing, all the distribution, all the sales, and have an amazing retail presence there as well. And also we'll be offering tour experiences to really tap into that tourist market that is available in Wellington City. And we sort of deliberately chose that part of Wellington as well. So if you're not familiar with it, it's down on just off Courtenay Place. So kind of in between Courtenay Place and the waterfront is where we will be sitting. So right around us, we've got the movie theatres, we've got like downstage theatre, Bax Theatre, a whole host of amazing restaurants as well. And of course, Reading Cinemas, which will be back open up at the end of next year. St. James, Te Papa, Takina, and of course the waterfront with the amazing markets they have there on Sundays as well. So we feel like we're going to be like smack bang right in the middle of all of that amazing foot traffic who are looking for an amazing experience. And I think that's what we're going to be able to offer people as far as a chocolate brand experience. And for us too, we just see that kind of leading into that experience that people can take away. And then when they get home, they'll be able to find our products in their local supermarkets, through our e-commerce opportunities as well. So we think the Emporium is a really big part of cementing that brand and experience for people. Just see if there's any questions popping through. Okay. So things that have got us to the space where we think we can scale is that we have been doing this for quite a while now. We've invested hugely in our brand over the last few years. I mean, anybody who knows our products speak to how strong our brand is and that the impact that it has on the shelf and for that whole gifting experience as well. We really have thought about our brand to multiple levels. So it's not just the name of the product, it's the graphics, it's the colors, it's the story, and of course the product that's inside. Obviously at the end of the day, it's got to taste delicious, but the way it's housed is super important as well. We feel that really kind of beds in with people quite deeply, and we feel like we've also set ourselves really clearly apart from our competitors in that market space. We might be a little bit biased, but we also get this feedback from a lot of people as well, is that nobody does it like us. Nobody presents their products like us. Nobody has the flavor complexity, the flavor adventure that we offer our customers, and that we see that as that we've basically perfectly positioned ourselves in this space for this kind of offering that we're bringing forward. And obviously, there's a lot of amazing chocolate out there in the markets. There's some really amazing people in our space. But what we think we do in this space is that we not only sit in the craft chocolate movement, but we also sit within the premium chocolate movement as well. So we not only make chocolate bars. So maybe some people aren't familiar with our whole range of products that we do make. So we make chocolate bars, but we also make truffles, caramels, mallow puffs. So we sort of straddle a lot of the space within the chocolate world. We're chocolatiers and we're chocolate makers. Whereas a lot of our competitors in this space are one or the other. There's not a lot of competitors who have the breadth of product that we have. And what that does is it gives us a huge advantage, a massive advantage, in that we can have our products in many, many different spaces. And they're also products that can be used in many different offerings as well. Yep. And of course, for us, it actually keeps it really exciting for us as well. If we were just making chocolate bars, I think it would be a bit boring for me because I like to keep it a bit more fun. I'm just going to duck into the chat there and see if there's any questions. No, nothing coming through. So look down here. There's lots of people joining the chat though, especially on Instagram as well. Loving that. If you've got any questions, please sing out. Otherwise, I'll just keep ranting about what we're up to. What's another thing we can talk about as far as the offering? Okay. What do we get out of it as a shareholder? What do you get out of it as a shareholder? Well, I mean, there's a few things to this process. I mean, number one is you're buying shares in our business. That's obviously the main offering that we're giving you. It's not a Kickstarter campaign. We're not asking for your money and giving you a nice little hat in return, which could be quite nice. But there's a lot more in this offer. What we're asking you is to invest in a next generation chocolate company that has a track record. We haven't just popped up and had this idea last week. We've been working at this for how long? 2012. 14 years. Yeah. So, I mean, we've got a proven track record behind us, which is really exciting. So what we're offering people in return is there'll be perks as well. So as far as the level of investment that you have, so the minimum investment is $1,000. $1,000 gives you 1,000 shares, so $1 per share. At $1,000, you'll get a 10% off keyring. You'll get an invite to the AGM party, which will be a lot of fun. And then what it also gives you a sense of ownership as well. So, I mean, these days you can invest your money in many different channels. You could pop it in the bank. You could jump on Sharesies. You could invest in a whole bunch of companies there. You could stick it under your pillow. There's many different places that you could put your money. What we're offering is an opportunity to actually have some ownership over something. You can't go into your bank and be like, I own part of this bank when you have money in them. But that's exactly what we're offering you, is that when you come into Baron Hasselhoff's Emporium, you're able to look at the space that we've created, beautiful space, and you'll be able to go, I own this. I helped to create this opportunity for people to enjoy, which we feel is a pretty special thing to be able to offer people in this day and age when we all want something more out of life, to be honest. We definitely want something more, and what we're trying to create is a lot more for people than just that. Just being able to put your money in a bank. Obviously, there's risk that comes with that. We're well aware of that, and that's fully in the document as well. So if you haven't read the IM, you can head on to PledgeMe's website, and the IM is housed in there, so you can read all the information around the ins and outs of what we're trying to achieve, and also the different level of perks. So there's a few different levels. It sort of jumps from 1,000 to 3,000 to 5,000. There's a few more layers to it. In those sort of higher investment categories, you can also help us design products, which would be a super fun process for us and for you. You'll be able to help us create names for some of our products. You'll be able to put your name on some pieces of machinery or a name that you come up with. I mean, you could call it after yourself too. That's more than fair enough. We'll even invite you on one of our cacao sourcing trips, which could be to Vanuatu. We could take you to Vanuatu with us, which would be super fun. So that's basically what you're getting out of this investment. I mean, number one, it's the shares in the company, but there are also perks that come along with that as well. And so far on this channel, I mean, on this trip, we have had huge advances in our revenue as well. We've basically doubled our revenue every 2 years, which really speaks to the quality of product that we make, but also, I guess, around the management that we've had of the business, between myself and Erin. So if you're not familiar, what I do, I'm the chief chocolate disciple. So I sit in the kitchen and come up with all the amazing ideas and do all that kind of graft in the kitchen around new cacao origins, new caramel recipes, new techniques, new processes. That's really my department. And Erin is the chief everything else officer. So she's basically, we could basically just credit her with all the hard work that's really gone into the back end of the business to get us to this position of where our turnover is at now as to where it was a few years ago. And as far as kind of cacao sourcing as well, we're super lucky being in New Zealand that we have the Pacific as being our neighbour, who grow an amazing array of cacao. So countries like Fiji, Vanuatu, Papua New Guinea, Solomon Islands, Samoa. All these countries grow fantastic cacao. We've had great relationships with growers in Papua New Guinea and the Solomon Islands, and especially in Vanuatu. So Vanuatu, we deal with Gaston cacao. So they've been around for quite a while, run by an amazing Frenchman called Olivier Fernandez, super passionate about cacao, about the cacao industry, about helping Vanuatu, Vanuatuites. Not sure if that's what you call people who live in Vanuatu, I'm really sorry. People who live in Vanuatu, really trying to help create a better life for these people as well. And he's managed to create a world-class cacao industry in Vanuatu. We were super lucky to have our honeymoon there a few years ago and go visit Olivier and visit some of the farmers and see his setup. Super exciting what he's up to there. And really it's for the benefit of all of us, especially in countries like New Zealand, to be able to leverage off the great work that he's doing around flavour, profiles, around everything, and really helping these communities on the ground. And of course, the world that we work in, fine cacao. Of course, there's a lot of child labour in bulk cacao. You generally don't find this at all in fine flavoured cacao. We have really close relationships with either with our farmers or with our intermediaries who basically move the cacao from the farmers to people like us. And the benefit of having those really close relationships is that we can have conversations around child labour. Are the farmers being paid fairly? Are the farmers getting what they need out of this situation? And so that's really one of the big benefits of having those really close relationships with cacao farmers and cacao dealers as well. I'd love to take you guys there with us. Happiest place on earth, Vanuatu. Yeah, it's beautiful. Cool. Any questions pop through? Just going to have a quick look at these questions. Okay. I think we might sort of wrap this up a little bit. And as far as kind of timeline, obviously the Pledge Me campaign goes through to the end of the month. So if you're looking at pledging, please jump on board, register as an investor. Only takes about a minute. You just have to provide a piece of ID, and then you're ready to pledge. If you're not quite ready to pledge, maybe you're still not quite sure about some information, please just fire through any questions. Email them to us. You can ask them on the Pledge Me site as well. Or goes directly to us. And if you are ready to pledge, please, I just encourage you to pledge as soon as possible. It really helps us gain that momentum, which is really important in a campaign like this. And then we're looking at a move in October, into Blair Street. And we'd love to have all you guys there for the party. Yeah. So I think we'll wrap it up from there. It's been lovely catching up, telling you guys all about our exciting plans. And yeah, stay tuned.